It's just boxing. I'm back again. Want to talk a little bit about the Jermall Charlo and Dennis Hogan fight that's coming up in December. Let's get to the article that I found on BoxingNews24.com. Let's jump right into it. Jermall Charlo will be defending his WBC middleweight title against former 154-pound world title challenger Dennis Hogan, who's bringing in a record of 28 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, and 7 knockouts. In December, according to Mike Compiger, the fight is being finalized. The reporter is saying that this is another lackluster fight by the 29-year-old Jermall Charlo, who's bringing in a record of 29 wins, 0 losses, and 21 knockouts, who is coming off a successful title defense against Brandon Adams last June in Houston, Texas. Charlo is expected to be a big fight or to be a big favorite over Hogan. Hogan is 34 years old, recently lost a disputed 12-round majority decision to WBO junior middleweight champion Jaime Munguia on April 13 on the zone in Monterrey, Mexico. After the controversial loss, Hogan and his team asked Munguia for a rematch, but it failed to happen. With Munguia about to vacate his WBO title after his next defense against Patrick Oitoy, Hogan would never get a rematch while he's still champion. Jermall Charlo failing to get the big fights. Jermall Charlo's career isn't going the way some boxing fan had hoped it would. Although he's still unbeaten in the WBC champion, he's not being able to get important fights. Jermall wants to fight Gennady Golovkin, so Canelo Alvarez, and this is not on here, but I'm gonna throw in Demetrius Andrade. He wanted to fight Daniel Jacobs. None of those fighters wanted to fight him, but neither of those guys have agreed to face him. Jermall Charlo was the WBC mandatory for Golovkin and Canelo, but sanctioning body didn't order the fights. No, it's not the sanctioning bodies didn't order the fight. The title holders at that particular time did not want to fight Jermall Charlo. Canelo and Golovkin ducked him. Demetrius Andrade did not want to fight Jermall Charlo, but he wanted to smite the smaller Jermall Charlo at 154. He came out recently and said that he wouldn't mind taking a fight with him, but he wasn't, but he didn't sound confident and wanted to fight Jermall Charlo at 160. I'm talking about Demetrius Andrade. So here you have Gennady Golovkin, you have Canelo Alvarez, you have Demetrius Andrade, you have Daniel Jacobs, which Daniel Jacobs moved up to 168, and I think he has to fight at 168 if I'm not mistaken. So we have four fighters that fights at 160, and neither of those 4 fighters want to fight him. So if he can't get the top 4 guys in his division, he has to fight mandatories. He has to fight people that's in, that is within the top 10. So there's nothing wrong with him fighting the fighters within the top 10. So now let's get back to it. But the sanctioning body didn't order the fights, which is a lie. Now that the WBC has given Canelo the franchise tag, he doesn't need to face Canelo. That is another lie. So how is it that Canelo Alvarez can just flat out duck Canelo? Just flat out duck Jermall Charlo just because the WBC has given him a quote unquote franchise tag belt that means absolutely nothing in boxing. So that means he can fight whomever he wants. So he can duck Jermall Charlo with no problem. He can even duck Demetrius Andrade with no problem. I'm talking about Canelo, who came out and stated the quote unquote thing that all duckers say when they don't want to fight a person. Okay, first of all, he don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade because he don't have a lot of fans. His style is boring. He don't want to fight Jermall Charlo for the very same reason. You want to know the reason he don't want to fight these fighters? The reason that he ducked both of these 2 fighters at 154 is because that style, Jermall Charlo style, Demetrius Andrade style, is similar to Floyd Mayweather Jr. style. similar to a style of Ezra Landy Lara, a style that can beat him. Because Canelo Alvarez, he does not have great foot movement. He has great upper body movement, but he's very, very flat-footed. And fighters that can box and move around gives him problems. That's why he's willing to face the fighters as Triple G and fighters move all the way up to 175 pounds and fight Sergey Kovalev, who basically is a straight up and down stand-up stationary fighter. But it doesn't give him the right to duck Charlo. I'm getting sick and tired of all these doggone getting sick and tired of all these different excuses of why he should duck Jermall Charlo. But last December, Charlo won a controversial 12-round decision against Matej Kurabov. First of all, it wasn't a controversial decision. Just because you have a fighter that is favored to win and he's in a tougher fight than what is expected, it doesn't mean that it's a controversial fight. He just didn't win in the manner that you had in your mind of him winning. But overall, Jermall Charlo won the fight. So a lot of boxing fans felt that Charlo should have lost that fight. No, you felt like that. BoxingNews24.com had the 36-year-old Kurabov winning the contest. However, Charlo was the A side in the fight against the 2008 Olympian Kurabov, and this may have helped Charlo. Charlo hasn't made a move to give Kurabov a rematch to clear up the. He don't have to move up. He don't have to clear up anything. He won the fight. So let's get back to it. The fight is being finalized. This is another lackluster fight for the 29-year-old Charlo. I cleared that up earlier, but I'm going to speak on it again. See, because I hate that phrase lackluster. A lackluster fight. No, every fight is a meaningful fight, especially if Jermall Charlo can get the fights that he wants. Jermall Charlo has called out Daniel Jacobs. Jermall Charlo has called out Triple G. He's called out Canelo Alvarez. He has called out Demetrius Andrade. Those are the top 4 guys that's in his division. Currently, 2 fighters are in his division. 1 fighter moved up to 175, which is Canelo to fight Sergey Kovalev. And Daniel Jacobs moved up 1 division to 168 to fight. I'm not sure who he's fighting at 160, but 168. But I will find out and I'll make a video about it. It's just ridiculous that he's getting overlooked by these fighters, but he's getting the blame for not fighting the so-called big fights. So guess what? He's going to do exactly what Triple G has done his whole entire career, minus Daniel Jacobs and minus Canelo Alvarez 2 fights. He's going to fight his mandatories. He's going to fight guys that's in the top 10. So guess what? He has every right to do it because the guys that I have named are ducking him, and they're openly ducking him. And old media is not reporting on it. So I can't wait to watch him fight. Well, December 7th, something like that. I gotta check the date of when it's actually happened, but I think it's December 7th. But I will be watching, and I will be rooting for Jermall Charlo, and I'm hoping that he'll get some big fights made next year from Canelo, Demetrius Andrade, Triple G, or Daniel Jacobs. Somebody needs to fight him. It's ridiculous. So it's just boxing. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and press the bell icon. And it's just boxing, and I'm out. Peace.